You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Lucerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Plans for land banks in Hazleton may take a little longer than the board expected. WYLN's Mackenzie Ocker has the story.
Hazleton City Council recently tabled $500,000 from Lucerne County's allocation of American Rescue Plan Act funds that would have went to the Hazleton City Land Bank. The money would have been used to fix and clean up properties that are no longer in use to then put them back on the tax rolls.
We put the request in earlier in the month. I went up and made a presentation via Zoom to County Council showing them some properties that we've identified that we would like to rehab or be able to bring down in a safe manner to help clean up blight in the city of Hazleton.
As the council meeting went on, 2 audience members questioned the initial boards who started the land bank. This led to City Council tabling the funding request by a 6-5 vote.
You know, the biggest thing we hear about all the time here in City Hall is the problem with blight in the city, problem with, properties being full of garbage. So the land bank's mission is to help rectify these problems.
The Land Bank Board is currently looking at 12 properties to take over if Council decides to change their minds. One property that has come to their attention is the former American Legion building that currently sits on West Broad Street.
We intend to place a trump bid on that property to get that into the hands of the city so we can start the process of getting that property cleaned up and into the hands, hopefully, of a developer or somebody who could help us breathe new life into that building.
There still is a chance for the land bank to go through at the next council meeting set for April 26th. The board has went through all the right procedures and processes for this to become official, but ultimately it's up to City Council if they want to put the vote back on the table.
So at this point, we're going to continue going as business as normal. We have properties right now that we did receive bids for that we're hoping at our next meeting in 2 weeks that we will award the bids to get those properties off the city's list and into the hands of responsible property owners who are looking to either put in parking lots or green space, and that's the main goal of our land bank, is to get these properties back on the tax rolls to generate revenue for the city and for the county.
Gary Perna, who serves as chair on the Land Bank Board, hopes they rethink their decision at the meeting and awards them the money. Reporting in Hazleton for WYLN News, I'm Mackenzie Ocker.
Thank you, Mackenzie. The Tamaqua Area School District's defending its actions following allegations of sexual assaults on school property. The families of 2 Tamaqua area football players filed a federal civil lawsuit earlier this week, claiming the district failed to protect their children and took no action after the alleged assaults occurred in the football house back on November 4th. Attorneys for the families claimed the assaults were premeditated, that the district tried to cover them up. School Board President Larry Wittig said the district took immediate steps to investigate and that 3 students were expelled for their roles in the assaults, including 18-year-old Zachary McGlinchey, who was charged by police with simple assault and harassment back on March 28th. Board Vice President Nick Boyle is also questioning why the DA's office hasn't prosecuted anyone for sexual assault, if that was the case. A civil lawsuit has been filed against a former Hazleton mayor. Butler Township filed the suit requesting that congressional candidate Mike Marsicano remove a helipad from his property. A zoning violation was issued to Marsicano back in September of 2016, and another one was sent on January 10th of 2020. The township claims Marsicano failed to appeal either of them. A spokesperson for Marsicano claims there isn't a helipad on his property, and there never has been. He went on to say that Marsicano keeps his helicopter at the airport. The complaint filed Tuesday also requests that costs and fees be paid to the township. The Pennsylvania Senate approved 2 bills yesterday regarding elections. Senators voted 29-20 to ban drop boxes for depositing mail-in and absentee ballots. The bill would require mail-in ballots that do not go through the mail be dropped off in person at a single central county elections office. It would also prevent counties from having more than one election office. Senators also voted 37-12 to no longer permit donations from groups outside of government to run elections. The proposal would make it a felony to pay election costs outside federal, state, and local revenues from public money, or to seek grants or donations from outside groups. The bills were sent to the House for consideration. However, a spokeswoman for Governor Tom Wolf said he opposes both measures. A Lucerne County man stood trial this week for allegedly strangling his 3-year-old Husky mix. 30-year-old Dennis Blanchette said he killed the dog because she was sick and he had no money to take her to the vet. He also claimed that he was turned away by the SPCA of Lucerne County. However, prosecutors argued that Blanchette refused an offer from the SPCA to euthanize the dog at no cost. Blanchette's attorneys said the SPCA and its policies were at fault for not assisting his dog Sky. He allegedly took Sky home, strangled her, placed her in a garbage bag, and buried her. He was facing aggravated cruelty to animals charges going into closing arguments today, where the jury found him not guilty for the strangulation death. A Columbia County man is facing DUI and firearm charges following a traffic stop in Bloomsburg. 26-year-old Salvatore Ferrara was pulled over by police Saturday on East 3rd Street in Bloomsburg. Police discovered that he had a concealed 9mm handgun in the vehicle and was allegedly under the influence. He was charged with DUI and carrying a firearm without a permit. Pennsylvania State Police announced that they've confiscated over $23 million worth of illegal drugs in the first quarter of 2022. Troopers seized 168 pounds of cocaine with a street value of $3.7 million. Troopers throughout the state also seized 120 pounds of meth, nearly 120,000 Narcan pills valued at around $2.9 million, and 77 pounds of heroin and fentanyl. The public also dropped off close to 900 pounds of unused and unwanted prescriptions through the Drug Take-Back program. Take-back boxes are located at PSP stations across the state, where people can safely drop off medication 7 days a week. Amazon's blaming inflation and rising fuel costs for the new surcharge to third-party sellers. The Seattle-based company announced Wednesday that it'll be adding a 5% fuel and inflation surcharge to fees it charges third-party sellers. The added fees, which take effect April 28th, are, quote, subject to change and will apply to both apparel and non-apparel items. Though the company is blaming inflation and rising fuel costs for the surcharge, critics are questioning their motives, saying that Amazon was taking advantage of the moment. Amazon has long faced accusations of undercutting merchants that sell on its third-party platform by making, quote, knockoffs or very similar products and boosting their presence on the site. Pfizer wants to expand its COVID-19 booster shots to healthy elementary age kids. Health authorities in the U.S. already urge everyone 12 and up to get one booster dose for the best protection against the newest variants, and recently gave the option of a second to those 50 and up. However, Pfizer says new data is showing that healthy 5 to 11-year-olds could benefit from another kid-sized shot. While COVID cases in recent weeks are now at much lower levels in the U.S., an even more contagious version of Omicron called BA.2 has become the dominant type both locally and around the globe. The company plans to ask the U.S. FDA to authorize a booster for the young, healthy age group and share the data with European and other regulators. The IRS and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Pennsylvania are sending out a warning to those thinking about committing tax crimes. The tax deadline is just days away, and the agencies are warning that people who break the law could face serious consequences, such as substantial fines, penalties, and jail time. The U.S. Attorney's Office stated that they'll aggressively investigate and prosecute individuals who knowingly and willfully evade their tax obligations and violate the law. The IRS also reminds taxpayers to watch out for scams when filing their taxes. Officials urge people to find a reputable tax preparer and ask for their tax identification number that they're required to have. Also, never sign a blank tax return, and be vigilant about protecting personal and financial information by not sending it via email, text, or social media. Coming up on Wyln News, a chocolate recall just in time for Easter, plus details on the upcoming celebrity softball game at Coca-Cola Park. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm 5 years old, and it's sunny out, so break your sunglasses.
We want your child to be our Wyln Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on Wyln News and Wyln social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the Wyln News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Jura's Auto Sales has a great line of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Front Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call Wyln News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. Wyln, we're your local network.
Some U.S. Kinder chocolate products received a recall alert with a warning to throw them out if the packages are missing some specific information. The company said those items were never meant to be distributed or sold in the U.S. Ferrero USA Incorporated said its initial recall for 2 products sold in just a handful of U.S. locations may be contaminated with salmonella. The company then added a warning for consumers that there may be some other Kinder-branded products outside of the recall being sold in the U.S. that were intended for foreign markets, since they're not authorized for sale here. If the packaging does not have the following description printed on the back, consumers are urged to throw them out and contact Ferrero for a replacement. A road will be closed next Wednesday in downtown Wilkes-Barre as contractors install a new HVAC unit near Midtown Village. Mayor George Brown announced that the first block of South Main Street between Public Square and Northampton Street will be closed from 7 a.m. to noon next Wednesday, April 20th. Flaggers will be located at Northampton Street to assist vehicles trying to get to the South Main Street garage. Drivers are encouraged to avoid the area if possible. The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs will host the Devonta Smith and Friends Celebrity Softball Game on Saturday, June 4th at Coca-Cola Park. Devonta Smith won the coveted Heisman Trophy in 2020, becoming the first wide receiver to win the award since Desmond Howard in 1991. The pregame home run derby will feature Smith and his friends, including other NFL players and alumni. The 7-inning softball game's designed as an interactive experience between the players and fans in attendance. Gates will open at noon, with the home run derby scheduled for 2 p.m., followed by the softball game at 3. Tickets are on sale now, ranging from $20 to $52 and can be found online at devontasmithsoftball.com. Coming up on Pottsville's News Choice, we learn more about autism from SAFE in Community and You, plus Leading the Way, Part 4. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on Wyln TV.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Abby is still perfecting her sidekick, and her jab is just for show. But for Abby, this is a remarkable day, because Abby recently defeated a real foe, cancer, when she partnered with Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital, a children's hospital close to home with more than 30 pediatric specialties. Take a bow, Abby. You deserve it. Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital. Your health deserves a partner.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. TJ's Chimney Service Professional and Complete Chimney Service cleans, rebuilds, stainless steel liners, custom concrete poured chimney crowns, fully licensed and insured, all work guaranteed. Roofing services also available. Call 570-861-0027.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman on WYLN TV 35. Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 4, Sundays at 9.
Welcome to Community and You, and today we're going to be talking about SAFE. Eileen Perchak is here, and she is the executive director of SAFE. So let's find out, Eileen, what is it?
Hi, thanks for having us back. SAFE stands for Supporting Autism in Families Everywhere. We were founded in 1995. We're 27 years old this year. We will be celebrating our 27th year because we weren't able to celebrate our 25th because of COVID. We work to identify people's needs on the spectrum and their families to provide support, social outings, and programs for people with autism.
So when you're talking about autism, what exactly are you talking about when it comes to SAFE?
Autism is a developmental disease. No, not a disease. It's a developmental disorder that affects people differently. When they say being on the autism spectrum, you could be on one end of the spectrum being lower function up to the higher functioning. Most of the kids on the spectrum, they usually show signs of behavior issues, nonverbal. They have stemming issues like flapping, communication skills are lacking.
And if someone is hearing this and they're saying, gee, how would I know? Maybe I'm a parent and I might have a young child in the house and I've heard so much about this. Are there clues?
There are. For me personally, of course, I can't, give any medical advice, but I, too, have a son on the spectrum who is now 25. It became very evident to me when I put him in a social situation. He just couldn't make that social connection. Like, I'd watch him go off away from the other kids. Some telltale signs for me were he lined up his toys. He could watch the same movie over and over and over again. He read at a very early age, but he just didn't have those social pragmatics.
Now, again, I'm hearing you say that, and there may be parents watching, and they're saying, well, sometimes my kids do that, but aren't they just being kids?
Well, that, again, that would be a pediatrician's call. There's tons of services in Northeast PA. Now, when my son was diagnosed 25 years ago, there virtually were no services in Northeast PA. I had to drive to Hershey. We now have probably the best services for autism services in Northeast PA in the country. There we have Geisinger ADMI in our backyard, which is their Autism Developmental Institute. There's pediatricians in the area now that are focusing in on autism. So the services here, there's ABA services, there's TSS, RBT, behavioral services in our area now. So I encourage those parents, they can call us. We have a list of resources in the office that we can refer them to.
And I mentioned before we started to chat about this today that it was Autism Awareness Month, and you corrected me.
I did. We now go with autism awareness, acceptance, and advocacy for a couple different reasons. A lot of people in the autism world go on ABA therapy, which is applied behavior analysis, and some people either agree with it or they don't. So the people that don't are kind of neurodiversity, and they want an acceptance of the child or the person without any behavioral modifications. So to stay neutral, because it's your choice of what you do, we would like to reach out to all of our people. So we go with autism awareness, acceptance, and advocacy of all people.
Well, we're not through with you yet, Eileen. No, we're going to have more, and Eileen is going to tell us more about SAFE and about autism on another Community and You.
Heisler's Cloverleaf Dairy is now open at 743 Catawissa Road in Tamaqua. Stop by the Dairy Bar, try over 33 flavors of homemade ice cream still made on the premises, and a full menu of hot food made to order. Have some fun at their driving range, or play mini golf on their 2 18-hole mini golf courses. Heisler's Cloverleaf Dairy, celebrating 65 years. Same great taste, same great location, same great memories to be made.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the midday WYLN News update, posted between noon and 2 p.m. Powered by Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, the all-new emergency room at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is nearly double the size. Our updated facility features all private rooms, the latest technology, and a quicker, easier check-in process. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your partner in ER care.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at 647 State Route 93, Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania 18249 during regular business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Eileen Perchak's leading the way again into part 4 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's segment of Leading the Way with Eileen Perchak from SAFE. So, what have been some of the biggest achievements for yourself personally, some of the biggest achievements, and for SAFE as an organization?
That's easy. My biggest, well, I shouldn't say my biggest accomplishment, because I have to give credit to my son, was watching him flourish. As a small boy, people told me he'd never amount to anything, and I quote, put him in a home, that kind of stuff, put him in an emotional support room, and I refused. And now my son is a college graduate. He has his associate's degree. He is full-time employed. He carries his own health insurance, his own, dental eye. He bought his own car. He pays his own bills. So I would say that is my, my biggest accomplishment, but he did the work. I just helped him get to where he needed to be. And for SAFE, I think I'd have to say the collaborative effort with 3 major places. Guys, your ADMI, the Spark, they have been a constant source of funding for us, support, help to our families. The All One Foundation and the Lucerne Foundation, our programs couldn't survive without the, the good work that those people do. So I think as far as the executive director, forging those relationships and keeping them has probably been my personal best through SAFE.
All right, folks, check back tomorrow night as Eileen continues leading the way into part 5 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us to look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.